Hi guys, this is Bill from Spencer1984.com with another update to the Toy Story Pizza Planet truck. And this week we're going to be doing some body work. So the first task is I've got to get the box shortened. So you can see it's a full-sized box, and the one in the movie had a short box on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a section just ahead of and just behind the wheel well. And I'm going to mark my first set of cuts with a strip of tape on each side of the truck. This is some low-tack painter's tape. Got it cut to 10 millimeters wide, and I'm just going to stick it right here, right up close to the front of the box, so that it's easy to see that I've got it parallel. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Put it right up to the front. It's got a nice reference point. Put it down the side, so I've got a nice parallel line to the front of the box. And there I go. So those are going to be my first two cuts. So usually for this type of cut, I'd be using a long-bladed fine-tooth saw. That way everything is nice and straight, gets both sides of the truck. But we don't want to sit here and watch all that. So, do it the short way. With the tape marking off the cuts, all the lines are nice and parallel. Bring the box back together. You can see everything looks nice and straight, lines up. No weird steps in it. That'll glue back together really nicely. So now I basically do the same thing at the back here, taking out 6 millimeters. And now I've got something that is a lot closer to the proportions of the Toy Story truck. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get this all glued together. I'm going to put a little skim of body fill in it just to clean up any rough edges. And move on to the hood. So to recreate the dented edge, I'm going to be using some aluminum foil. Just pulled this straight out of the kitchen. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to start by taping it down so that it doesn't move on me as I'm working. And I'm just going to start burnishing it down so I can see the outline of what I'm working with here. I've got the center ridge, and over here have the edge of the hood. I'm going to take a nice sharp knife now and very carefully trim right along this edge. So that's nice and square right to the edge of the hood. I'm going to do the same thing here in the middle, because if I can break it on a character line, there's going to be a lot less work for me to clean up later on. So same thing, bring it right down the crease there, in front, and there we go. Get this edge burnished down and get that clear so that I can cut that one. And for this one, I'm going to switch over to a pair of scissors. No real reason, just different ways to do it. And burnish it down again, and you can see now I've basically got a perfect copy of the hood in thin metal. So what I'm going to do now, peel this up, leave it attached to the tape, and peel the metal off, so that I can take a chunk out of the leading edge of the hood. So I'm going to do that, I'm going to glue the metal on, and be right back. Alright, so there's the foil in place. Just pushed it into a corner to dent it, and you can see it's got a nice realistic dented metal bend. Now what I need to do, I need to add some epoxy to the back side of it so that it's got plenty of strength, because I don't want this thin foil to be the only thing holding itself in place. Squeeze out way too much epoxy here. In part, it's got a shelf life, so as little as I need, it's not really a bad thing. And if you try to mix up too little at any time. It's really hard to get the proportions correct. These are not really delicate tubes that they give you. So having too much of it helps the proportions, and also better to have too much than too little. So got it to the consistency I want, where it should run itself into the corners. Take a little bit here, and I'm not actually going to wipe it on, I'm just going to drip it on. And I'm going to let it do the work getting itself into the corners. So that way I don't deform the metal any more than I absolutely need to. Just kind of push it around to the corners. And I think that's pretty good. No, see a couple of little bubbles in there. So fill that in, and fill that one in. And now it looks pretty good. Although this is 5-minute epoxy, I always let it dry overnight, give it a chance to really set up good and hard. So I'm going to be doing that. Going to have the box gluing together, put that skim on it like I was talking about, and then it'll be time to start putting some paint on it. I will have another update on that next week. Check back then, and thanks for watching.